Hi there, I'm Alex from the Southern Ukulele Store, and my list of things to make for a video it's got so long that I'll never catch up in my lifetime. I thought about cloning myself and doing all sorts of things, but it's just not possible. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at 10 instruments that I have either featured recently, wanted to feature, or we've had recent restock of since I made a video and perhaps you folks didn't know. And I'm doing this alongside the launch of a limited discount code. This is 10% discount code you can use on anything on the website. I don't have an end date as I film this now, but you'll find all the details in the description of this video as well as on the Southern Ukulele Store website. The links for everything that I'm going to show you in this video is in the description as well. And if you have any questions, you can email me at alex@ukulele.co.uk or call the team on 01202 430 820. This is going to be a bit more of a compilation video. I will be showing off a few instruments in real time as well, but enjoy, and please let us know your favourite in the comments section. But before we do, let's just look at it for a moment, because even with the light glaring on it, it's just stunning. One of, if not the nicest piece of colour that any of us will ever see. I know that's all subjective, but this is a supermodel of curly Hawaiian koa. It's a stunner. Right, let's start with the Platinum series itself. The Platinum series started in 2016, and every year they release a single model that strives to innovate and inspire the future of ukulele manufacturing. And every year they introduce something new that you don't see on models again, and every year they introduce something new that you see on models going forward. I'll give you some really good recent examples. The 2020 Platinum series was a super tenor that had a D-shaped sound hole, and in 2021 Ukulele launched the D series ukuleles that were pared down inspired models from that Platinum. The year before, Ukulele released their first ever Pineapple Platinum model, which was a pineapple tenor, and now 2 years later we have the P1 and even the Sus P that I'm going to show you after this ukulele. But why and what's the idea behind it? Well, Joe, the head luthier at Ukulele, the man who started the company, started the Platinum range as a kind of what would happen if we let Joe loose in the workshop and nobody disturbed him for a week. And from there comes innovation. And this year the innovative features include these three matching waving sound holes, which are not purely cosmetic. These are there to increase the tonality of the ukulele itself by creating more of the soundboard and cutting less of it out of the middle. What you get is a kind of streamlined and I want to say like a filtered sound. It's like it's just filtered tone, and it's gorgeous. It's completely full-bodied but without any of the unnecessary hole in the instrument itself. And then you have the matching waving sound holes on the side there. Now, before I talk about the other features, let's just talk about this waving inlay itself. So you have an inlay on the bridge there, and then they continue this wave throughout the fingerboard all the way up to the headstock, which has this stunning piece of curly koa inlaid into it, and this waving inlay there. Just going to bring that closer, shine it towards the light slightly. Now, the other innovative feature is the body taper, which you may have noticed when I was going around the instrument. This ukulele has a deliberate taper down from the bridge to the base edge of the lower bout, which is there so that when you hold the ukulele, you don't necessarily even feel it's there. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, this is all Emperor's New Clothes because you've got a cutaway and you know you've seen beveled edges before. Well, this is taking that idea and running further with it and seeing where it can go. And with a body taper, what you end up with is something that is timeless but also innovative. I'm sure even those of you that have never played a guitar before will have heard of the Fender Stratocaster. You've looked at PRS guitars and you've looked at how these body cuts create a more comfortable experience and also help players get to places that they can't play otherwise. It's not necessarily about reaching the fretboard, but if you're comfortable, you can play for longer, you can play more dynamically. Now, you know, a better player than me can show you an example of that, but this body taper was designed and inspired by the last 70 years of electric guitar manufacturing and hybrid acoustic instruments. And you can really see that this body taper is an example of Joe and Kahiao Souza working together on this model. I know that Kahiao, who works in the custom shop and is the youngest son in the Souza family, is very into his high-end ostentatious electric guitars like the PRS style guitar, and this body cut is the kind of thing that you can be pretty sure that he suggested. And I'm sure as years go on we'll start to see other models introduce a body taper like this, but if you want to know where it came from first and where the idea originated from Hawaiian manufacturers, then you can see that it was Ukuleles, and it was the 2021 Platinum. And there is something about it. I mean, I'm a left-handed player, so it doesn't work so much for me, but when I hold it and when I do the sound sample for you guys that I've already recorded, I found myself just not really thinking about holding a ukulele. And the beveled edge does a good job of that, but you're still consciously holding an instrument. With this, I found that my hand reached the sweet spot more naturally than it does when I play for myself, and yeah, that's why that body taper is there. Other features include ebony fingerboard and bridge, 38mm nuts with the Cobra slotted headstock, and this is the first model, I believe, to have the stealth tuners with, I'm waiting for it to focus, I'll go out the shot, stealth tuners with the gold buttons. And have another look at that headstock, which is bound in curly maple, and then all the way down the fingerboard you have that curly maple binding, and all the way around the top and the back you have that curly maple binding, which paired up with the curly koa is just out of this world. And finally you have this absolutely stunning maple cutaway, like a scoop cutaway, which honestly, just looking at it now, I want a chopping board like that. I want a chopping board in that material. Let's make that happen for me, guys. If anyone wants to send me a curly maple chopping board, I'd be very happy. But yeah, and just once again, before we move on, let's just look at that instrument one more time, because it's an absolute stunner. And the final unique feature of this year's Platinum is a battery hatch on the back. You're probably thinking, oh no, what have they done? What have they done? Well, if you look at the sound holes on this instrument, it's impossible to fit a pickup, and many of the people who are looking at this kind of instrument are performers, people that want to be able to plug in and, you know, take it and grow with it. So what they've done is they've introduced a back hatch which is completely book matched to the back of the ukulele. It's very hard to spot from many angles. I've actually had to come back and refilm this part of the video because I forgot to mention it. But this hatch is easily removed. It's magnetized to the back of the ukulele, and if you look at this shot from when Gunsy took it apart on incoming quality check, you can see that they've even attached a brace to the back. So this back plate is in no way a hindrance to the overall sound of the ukulele. In fact, I'm going to put myself out on the line here and say that I think it's extremely cool. Okay, well, you heard one sound sample. I'm going to give you another one now, guys, and see what you think. Okay, the next ukulele we'll look at today is something I've been really excited to show off for a while. This is a Miller JA260GB, which is a jumbo tenor from Miller. But to look at it, it reminds me very much stylistically of a Komaka Deluxe. This acacia ukulele, this acacia body is gorgeous, really, I mean, just has all the luster and depth and colour variation that people look for from koa. But with acacia you get a slightly more earthy, slightly darker sound than koa. So it might actually suit the bigger body just as well, or in a completely different way it might suit it even more. You have figured acacia all the way around. You may have noticed on the front you have the shell rosette with the abalone binding around the front, and that's paired up with some Padauk front and back binding, which is quite subtle, but you can see it there on the close-up. This is completely gloss, including the neck, and the Millers have a very, very thin neck compared to the first few ukuleles we looked at in this video, with a 35mm nut width. The whole thing is very jumbo, but doesn't feel necessarily bigger than a normal ukulele in your left hand if you're a right-handed player. It has a slotted headstock, and as with the other Acacia models in the series, you have those aged tuners. Hopefully that's focused nicely for you there. Those aged tuners, come on, focus for me. And then you have that kind of curved Miller rosette headstock inlay with the ebony faceplate, which I really love their logo. Every time I focus on the camera, I think, wow, that's such a cool logo. Now the Miller, price-wise, this is the most expensive Miller we've had so far, but it's still well under £1,000. If you're looking for something that has that high-end flavour, something that every time you open the case or look at the stand you're going to get really excited about it, then the JA260 GB is a good choice. So let's give this jumbo a play and see what you think. Okay, next up today, folks, we're going to look at a series of ukes that just have ultra modern written all over them. This is the Eut M6. It's available in blue, black and a natural finish, and the coloured finishes are a translucent finish, slightly darker than you're finding on the Mad series. You really do have to shine them in the light to see the grain, but they do look very, very cool, deep coloured, rich, and just unapologetic. Like, these ukes aren't trying to please everybody. Some people are going to love the look, some aren't. You have a Florentine style cutaway, which is the cutaway where you have a sharp point at the edge and it kind of looks like somebody's taken the perfect bite out of the side of the ukulele. You have a mother of pearl rosette on this model. Still a rich light fingerboard and bridge, but you have that really, really beautiful inlay all the way up the fingerboard, and that's something Enya do just as well as anyone else out there right now. You have a 4-in-a-line headstock similar to an electric guitar with gold tuners, close back tuners with amber buttons. Just, it's kind of marketed at the electric guitar kind of, I want to say, like you get like Dean and Ibanez acoustics that look like they're designed for electric guitar players. That's a very unique thing about this model. You have 2 strap buttons again, 2 gold ones on this particular model, and it's another uke that comes with a nice high quality gig bag at a very, very modest price. It's an interesting one on this model because it has the pull through bridge similar to a Snail or a Kala Elite, where you put the string in, pull it out the sound hole, tie a knot and then pull it tight. So not the most convenient of string changing bridges, but the instrument itself is poised, it's tight, it's ready to go, and it's another one with a 38mm nut width and a 31mm string spacing, so chunkier and designed for somebody with bigger hands or somebody who just wants a bit more room. Let's give the Eut M6 a play and see what you think. Either way, what we're going to look at today is a ukulele that has a very distinctive identity,
without really having the true bones of that identity in place, that are the most true copies of vintage Martins that we've ever seen. But they are made of curly mango, and they look completely different whilst looking exactly the same as the Martin. So the brand in question and the builder in question is called Tiki Tiki. Very unique name, not one that you would necessarily have heard, not one that rolls off the tongue in the Western world. But these absolute master built ukuleles are just gorgeous. This is the soprano, and as you can see, the proportions, the style, the 3-point crown, this is a very faithful replication of an early Martin.
first one here is a very special Owlcraft. It's custom number 100, the 100th custom that Eut has made. The instrument was designed by Eut with his wife Seyoon, and I believe she did the aesthetic design for the pickguard. And just this instrument has knocked my socks off. I think I've said this now about maybe 4 or 5 Owlcraft ukuleles in a row where they've arrived and I've played them and I've gone, yeah, I've definitely never played anything better than this. This is as good as it gets. And this is another shining example of that. So I'm going to give this a play anyway. If you want to know more about this instrument while you're looking at the visuals over the sound sample, there are links to the listing in the description. This is obviously a one-off. We will possibly get something similar in the future, but for now let's take a look at number 100. You have a cedar top, stained a very obvious orange colour with the maple moonbird style inlay at the sound hole. The ebony bridge, ebony fingerboard with a 2A koa back and sides, really nicely figured koa. This one has a really straight grain, but it's always worth looking at the ones we have in stock at the time because they're all slightly different. You have maple bindings on the front and back with a maple strip down the back. And then once again with the Inui Nui you have that slightly wider nut width with the ebony fingerboard and bridge, and a chunky, almost U-shaped neck with a very slight flat point on the back for comfort. The way this differs to a Moonbird is the headstock. This has a more kind of traditional slotted headstock with bigger Nui Nui branded tuners, and the neck has a satin finish which it goes against the gloss finish of the body, so it has a slightly lived-in feel from new. This also comes in the most leery, in a good way, orange hard case in the world. If you're somebody that likes to go out and you like stuff that's slightly quirky, Nui Nui really have just gone and thrown everything at the wall with this model. Everything that could make this ukulele feel special is there. So Phil's going to give the Lion a play for you now and see what you think. There you have it, folks. Thanks very much for watching. That discount code is available now on the Southern Ukulele Store website. You can go to the checkout and there is a prompt for a discount code. It's best price, all in capitals with an exclamation mark, as you see on the screen now. Once again, if you have any questions or you just want to talk to the team, give us a ring, 01202 430 820, or you can email me at alex@ukulele.co.uk. Yeah, I will be back to show off the Flight Carabao in a few days' time, but in the meantime, let's just soak in all those fantastic ukuleles we've looked at, and hopefully we've whet your appetite to take one home. Thanks very much, have a good day.